Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? What is going on? Oh, man. Justin, this is Fields. I told you before the podcast. We selected Justin Fields. I just have. Because Walter Payton, it's the man. I just have. Who is this? We selected Justin Fields. I think I can fit in as like a water boy for the Panthers. Freaking go. Who is this? All right, that's the end of this podcast. Yep, we're taking a kicker. Oh, man. This is intense.
Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. In Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
What is going on, Chicago Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another Friday night live stream right here on Keek on the Mic. Obviously, last week I did a live stream. I was in a lot of pain. Obviously, I was supposed to go live for the Bears play-by-play versus the Eagles. That didn't happen. Ended up having to have emergency surgery. Once again, I want to thank you guys all for all the people that checked in on me during that time. I am feeling a whole lot better than last Friday. And I'm super excited to be back here. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you stay connected with me by following me on every single social media page on Instagram, on Twitter, and on TikTok. But like I said, we're going to have a good time today, Bears fans. And obviously, you can see the title of this live stream is, Can the Chicago Bears secure the number 2 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft? Obviously, something that we talked about a lot on the podcast is that the Bears are no longer in the playoff picture. They have been officially eliminated as a couple of weeks ago from the playoff picture. So now we can start discussing offseason, right? What will the Chicago Bears do in the offseason? Can the Chicago Bears hold on to that very valuable number 2 overall pick, which in this case, it is really valuable. That number 2 overall pick is really valuable. And obviously, when you look at that number 2 overall pick, right now, the Bears hold that second pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. And then right behind us, it is, I believe, the Seattle Seahawks pick. It's technically the Denver Broncos pick, but they traded that pick away, right, for Russell Wilson. So basically, we are banking on the Denver Broncos to continue winning football games to hopefully officially secure that number 2 overall pick. So we're going to have a good conversation today. Obviously, this is also going to be a Q&A as well, so feel free to ask me any questions that you guys may have, and I will answer them for you guys here on the live stream. But I first off want to ask you guys, how are you guys doing today? Once again, thank you so much for joining me for a live stream. I really, really appreciate you guys. We're going to have a good time today. Obviously, I see a couple people already commented in the chat. We have Louis Lepresto saying he was first. Obviously, bear down to you as well. And then Levante Rogers commented, we should be talking about securing the first pick in the NFL draft. Honestly, that would be awesome if we were able to get the first pick in the NFL draft. But obviously, at this point, I don't think that's a possibility because the Houston Texans are a lot worse. And I mean a lot worse than the Chicago Bears. And that's surprising, obviously. Obviously, when I look at the Bears, the Bears are staying competitive, right? They're playing competitive football, but it's always in that fourth quarter. At the end of the game, obviously, when you're playing a team like the Eagles or even this week against the Bills, good teams find ways to win. And right now, the Bears are just not a good football team, which is why they're in a situation. We have a lot of good young talent. That is true. But at the moment, right, the Bears are not technically a good football team. We will get there, though. We all understand that the Bears will get there eventually. Like I said, as people are coming into the live stream, I really appreciate you guys. I know that I originally said I was going to come on at 5 p.m. PST, but I decided to come on a little bit earlier and start a little bit earlier at 4. I'm going to try to be on for as long as possible. The good news is that I am feeling a lot better than last week. So the plan is to do my very first live play-by-play live stream for the Bears versus Buffalo Bills game. I will be starting that live stream about 9:40 a.m. tomorrow morning. So make sure you guys tune in for that as well. I'm super excited to do that. Never done one of those before. Like I said, I'm trying to learn different things to make this podcast a little bit more exciting. So I'm excited to add live streams to the channel. Once again, if you're just now tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in to this Friday night live stream. We're going to talk about, can the Bears actually secure the number 2 overall pick? You know, obviously they're not fighting for playoff position, but we are damn sure fighting for that number 2 overall pick. Obviously the Bears are not purposely looking to lose, right? They're going to play competitive football. We're not officially tanking the season, right? But at the same time, that number 2 overall pick is looking really nice right now. How you doing, Kyle Waddle? He said, What's up, man? Whose autograph is on your helmet? Looks nice." There's not an autograph on the helmet, but the autograph that's on the football right here is Lance Briggs. Obviously, Lance Briggs played football in the Sacramento area. He went to Elk Grove High School. Obviously, I'm from Sacramento, California, so there's a lot of connection there. So you know I had to get a signed autograph ball from Lance Briggs. Daryl, appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm super excited to be here. Love doing live streams. I love interacting with you guys live. And we're going to have some fun today. Obviously, if you have questions for me, bring them in as we're talking about the topic of today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, there's a lot of NFL news I kind of want to talk about too as well. The first order of business is, did anyone see how bad Zach Wilson has looked? Especially last night. He got benched for the second time. Against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I wonder if Jets fans are sitting here saying, man, we could have had Justin Fields. I still can't believe they passed on him. Levante Rogers said the Bears have currently $125 million in cap space. What position group should they spend the most money on? Obviously, it just depends. You know, the Bears took a huge hit today. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure if you heard the news, but obviously the Green Bay Packers extended Elton Jenkins to a 4-year, $68 million deal. And then I believe the Titans extended Jack Conklin to a 4-year deal as well. So those were 2 offensive linemen that I thought the Bears would be interested in. Now they're off the table. So now personally for me, with the $125 million to spend, we have to build the trenches on the defensive line. I like guys like Daron Payne. I like guys like Draymond Jones, right? There's a couple other guys in free agency that I would really be interested to have on the Chicago Bears. But like Ryan Poles says, Bears fans, he wants to build through the NFL draft. That's his big thing. He wants to build through the NFL draft. So we'll see. There's a lot of money to spend, and I expect them to be aggressive both in free agency and the draft. But I think building the trenches is going to be the number one focus for Ryan Poles. Yes, Kyle Waddle. I love Lance Briggs too. Good guy. Good guy. I don't know him personally, but obviously having that connection to Sacramento is pretty cool for me. And I knew that I had to get a signed football. I actually have a signed jersey by him too. Eventually I'll have it hung up in the room and I'll have one nice little studio. Obviously I have Walter Payton behind me. I have a Justin Fields signed jersey. Have a bunch of signed jerseys. Just need to be framed. Daryl Upton, I appreciate you. Both baby and the wife are doing very well. Obviously, my newborn baby, she just turned 4 months old. She's the light of my life. I was super scared when she got RSV, especially when they had to put the oxygen in their nose, but she is doing a lot better. Thanks for the well wishes. Yes, Lance Briggs was definitely a beast. Lance Briggs, man, him and Urlacher were fun to watch. Obviously, when I was growing up being a Bears fan, those were the first players that I saw play, right, at a young age. Being a young Bears fan, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Devin Hester, right? So all those guys. You know, Levante Rogers, and I want to ask you guys this, and I'm going to ask you guys this because he just put this on in the comment. Zach Wilson is Mitchell Trubisky. Was Mitchell Trubisky as bad as Zach Wilson? No, let's be honest. I feel like Mitchell Trubisky looked a lot better than Zach Wilson does right now. And obviously Mitchell Trubisky, you know, wasn't great, but I don't know if he looked like Zach Wilson does right now. Yeah, Kyle Waddle. I'm praying for you. It's gonna be super cold. Last time I checked the temperatures for the game, they said it's gonna be like -17 wind chill. Soldier Field has I follow Soldier Field's Instagram, and they posted basically saying if you're coming to the game, make sure obviously you're wearing warm clothing because you can get hypothermia or you can get really sick obviously. So if you're going to the game, good luck. Obviously, me being from California, we're not too fond of the cold. Yeah, Michael, obviously, that's the tough part about drafting quarterbacks. Obviously, Zach Wilson did show some qualities. He looked good in college, but they definitely took a risk. Obviously, uh, I would have probably taken Justin Fields. That's just me. Like, even that's just the truth. I feel like Justin Fields looked better, played in bigger games than Zach Wilson, especially in college. So I think if the Jets can have another chance at it, I think they would take Justin Fields. Just like if fans could have another chance at it, we would probably take Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes. So every team makes a mistake, though. Every teams make mistakes. Levante Rogers asks, what are two wide receiver ones the Bears should target in the trade market? I say T. Higgins and DeAndre Hopkins. T. Higgins, the rumors are starting to flow that they could possibly maybe go after T. Higgins. There's also been some other trade packages, in some articles I've been reading. And one of them said trade down to the Colts and grab their first round pick this year, a first round pick next year, a third next year, and Michael Pittman to maybe become our number one. And then another one was trade down with the Carolina Panthers and try to get DJ Moore, which those would be also good options to be number ones in Chicago as well. Pair any of those guys with Claypool and Darnell Mooney. I think it would be pretty nice duo or trio. Yeah, so obviously, if you're just now tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, you can see the title of this live stream is Can the Bears secure the number 2 overall pick? As it stands, the Chicago Bears hold the number 2 overall pick with 3 weeks left to play. Obviously, when you look at the Bears schedule, they have the Bills, which could very well be a loss. They play the Vikings and then the Lions, and those could very well be losses as well. And obviously, the team behind us is the Denver Broncos. Obviously, it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks pick. But it's all up to the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos play the Rams this week, which that could be a win for the Broncos. And then they play the Chiefs and the Chargers, which those probably will be losses for the Broncos. So I know personally that if they end up tying, the pick will go to the Broncos, right? So the Bears, if they really want the number 2 overall pick, they probably need to lose out, right? So, but like I said, the Bears have been playing competitive football, so it wouldn't surprise me if the Bears beat a team like the Lions or the Vikings in the last 2 weeks. Michael said, I watched Deron Payne play against the Giants, and I was not impressed. He played like a guy playing not to get hurt. Just one game, though. Yeah, everyone has a bad game, but I think you have to look at the overall season. The guy has 8.5 sacks. He can stuff the run. He can get after the quarterback, and that's what I like. And obviously, for Matt Eberflus's defense to be successful, to actually work, we need the 3 technique, and that's why it may be important for the Chicago Bears to hold the number 2 overall pick, because then you can play your cards right. If you hold the number 2 overall pick, you're either going to get Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter, which both players are outstanding options. I'm super excited for either one of them. Yeah, and Kyle Waddle, you make a good point. And as I do my mock drafts, I'm already starting to kind of compile my mock drafts a little bit. Still think it's too early to post. I'm still trying to wait to see where the Bears are going to be after they're going to be at number 2 or number 3. But in one of my mock drafts, I wouldn't mind seeing the Chicago Bears trade back twice. It just depends. It just depends if you don't want Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, which I think Ryan Poles is going to want one of them. But let's say, for instance, he doesn't want one of them, then yeah, go ahead and trade back twice and stockpile picks, not only for this season, but for future years as well. Yeah, obviously, big news, Bears fans. Obviously, if you didn't hear today, Jalen Johnson and Kendall Vildor are now on season-ending IR, and obviously, our team is dropping like flies. Obviously, it doesn't matter at this point. The Bears are out of the playoff picture. But my problem is that I just need Justin Fields to make it through the season. We don't want to see Justin Fields going IR, right? But it just seems like players are just dropping like flies right now, and it sucks. But at least we're not in the playoff picture. Yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, free agency comes before the draft. So if the Bears go out and they get like Draymond Jones and Jerron Payne for the defensive line, that could indicate that we're gonna go get Will Anderson Jr. or maybe a pass rusher in the draft, or maybe I don't know. But by the way that Matt Eberflus talks, he said in a recent press conference that the Chicago Bears need that engine in the middle, right? And that engine in the middle means a three technique defensive lineman that can not only stop the run, but that can be a pass rusher in the middle of that defense. I was waiting for Don Burr to show up. Welcome to the live stream, Don Burr. Hope you're doing well. Like I said, congratulations to the Detroit Lions. It's not like they accomplished anything quite yet, but congrats on a good season. Yeah, and I asked you guys this last live stream, who are the Bears? If the Bears do secure a number 2 overall pick, like, and you're gonna have the option between both of those guys. Who are you taking? Like that's a tough choice for Ryan Poles. I'm starting to lean towards Jalen Carter though. I really am. I like what I've seen from Jalen Carter. Yeah, everyone in the chat wish John Burr and the Lions, congratulations. It's a good season for him. I'm not even trying to joke around. Like it's a legit good season for him. It's been so long since the Lions have had anything to look forward to, and now they're in the playoff picture, which they could very well get in. But I'm truly happy for them. That's a very loyal fan base over there that they had to deal with a lot, and you could tell it's finally starting to click for them. So good for them. Yeah, and that's the thing. If we trade back, we would get some extra day 2 picks, like in the second and third rounds, which those picks are valuable, right? And obviously there's some scenarios where we can trade back and get an extra first as well in this same draft, right? There's a couple of teams. Obviously the Lions are one of them. I believe the Seahawks have a couple of first round picks. The Eagles have a couple of first round picks. So there's a couple of teams that they may consider trading back to. Yeah, like I said, Don Burr, I have no issue with you whatsoever. You're a fan, you're a loyal fan. I respect that. I respect that. I really do. I think it would be interesting. Speaking of the Lions now, they're playing good football, and that's scary because if they get in, I'm not sure if any NFC team's gonna want to play the Detroit Lions because the NFC to me is still kind of wide open. Like when you look at the AFC, it's like, man, that's a tough, the AFC's tough. When you look at the NFC, it's wide open. But one thing I can say, I truly feel that the Lions and the Bears are the best set up for years to come. I feel like it's going to be the Lions and the Bears fighting out for the NFC North for a long time. Yeah, Mike Roush, you're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up. Every team but one lose every year. Yeah, there's one winner. So, regular season accomplishments really mean nothing to me. If you can't win the big game, it doesn't matter. Like you can have expectations, like the Buffalo Bills have expectations, or for example, the Eagles, they're 13-1 right now. That record won't matter if you don't win the Super Bowl. It really won't. Like at the end of the day, the only team I'm going to respect is the team that wins the Super Bowl. Yeah, and I think everyone in NFC North can agree that as long as Green Bay is not winning the division or winning anything, I think everyone is happy. I think everyone can come to the conclusion that we all hate Green Bay. So Don Burr, thank you for bringing that up. And Don Burr, I do want to ask you, are you a fan of mine? Are you a fan of the show? I know I see you always in the comments. I'm not sure if you just come and just try to poke fun because we're Bears fans. I mean, you're a Lions fan, but do you actually enjoy watching my show? Kyle Waddle said Texas may not go QB at number one. They have 4 firsts next 2 years. I think they may take Anderson in a QB. Oh, that you never know. You never know. And that will, I think if the I truly feel that if the Texans do that and the Bears do hold the number 2 overall pick, we're gonna run to the podium and take Carter. We can't risk it. But obviously they I don't know. I would take a quarterback if I was Houston. Especially when you have like CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. There were it's kind of funny that we're bringing this up because there was actually a podcast I was listening to, and this guy was like, if I'm Bryce Young, I got one more year of eligibility to go back to Alabama and try to win a national title. I'm going back. I'm not going to Houston. I thought that was kind of funny. Don Burr, I appreciate you. I really do. And that's what it's all about. I try to create content that all NFL fans can come and enjoy. I know I recently told you guys I am going to expand on more NFL content. Obviously, I'm still going to be a Bears podcaster, but I'm going to do all NFL content as well because I do truly enjoy talking NFL football and interacting with different fan bases as well. So, Don Burr, I really appreciate you. Yeah, Michael, you said, too bad this is a weak receiver draft. I'm trying to scout those who will not go in the first round. Obviously, I think receiver in next year's draft, and there's one guy that I will be willing to wait for, and that is Marvin Harrison Jr. He's been outstanding this year. That is one guy I'd be willing to wait for. Yeah, I feel like, I know a lot of people are kind of getting on Don Burr right now, and I feel like ever since I started the channel, right, he has been like one of my first. Obviously I'm not gonna say a supporter because I know he's not a Bears fan, but you can support um other people's podcasts. I know a lot of people may attack me for this, but one of my favorite podcasts to listen to is actually a Green Bay Packers fan. His name is Tom Grossi. And the reason why I like Tom Grossi, even though he's a Packers fan, um, he does all NFL content, very engaging, and he's realistic about his team. If the Packers are not good, he will let you know. So I really like that. The one year when the Bears were good in 2018, he predicted the Bears were going to go back to back, win the back NFC North titles. Obviously, that didn't happen, but he was realistic, thinking that the Bears were actually going to win. So I appreciate that type of content. Thank you, Daryl. I really appreciate you. I'm feeling, like I said, I'm feeling a lot better. I apologize. Um, for kind of cutting the live short last week. I was in a lot of pain in last Friday's live. I just didn't say anything. It ended up being my appendix. So they had to remove my appendix in an emergency surgery on Sunday morning. But like I said, I plan to go live every Friday, and I'm gonna do a play by play tomorrow morning as well for the Bears and Bills game. So come in, tune in for that. I'll start that live stream about like 9:40 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you come in and let's have a good time. It's going to be fun. Like I said, I think the Bears are going to compete. So it's always fun to watch Bears games, especially when you have a guy like Justin Fields playing out of his mind right now. Mike Ross, are you asking if I kept my appendix? Are you allowed to do that? Can you keep your appendix? Yeah. Yeah, it was painful, guys. It's funny because like, the appendix is like an unnecessary organ. You don't even need it, but it's like, why is it so painful then? It was absolutely painful. Thank you, Create Culture. I'm glad to be here. Like I said, if you're just now joining the live stream, hit that subscribe button, guys. Make sure you share the channel with every Bears or NFL fan that you know. There's a lot of stuff to come on this channel, a lot of interviews. I know I'm not sure if you guys watch my little game previews with Isaiah Fry. He's been a good friend to the channel. I plan to do live streams with him. I'm gonna have Devontae Bond on. He plays for the Dallas Cowboys. He's gonna be on after the new year. So that's gonna be fun. I'm still trying to get a couple of other players on. I don't want to spoil anything. But I'm gonna try to get a lot more player interviews on the podcast because I feel like you guys really enjoy those. Great Culture said Justin Fields equals Michael Jordan. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. That would be awesome. No worries. No worries at all. Be with your family. Rowdy Man 777. If you want to tune in for a quick moment and just watch the game, come join me and watch the game, that's fine as well. I'll be here. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a good time tomorrow. You guys are going to get my live reaction. I can't promise that I won't cuss. Sometimes I try to hold it back, but sometimes, the Bears can really get under my skin. Like all you guys. Yeah, what's like Bears fans? Let's be realistic, and obviously I try to be realistic, but most of the time I'm optimistic. I feel like that's why most Bears fans don't like watching the channel because I'm a little bit too optimistic. But let's be realistic here. Do you think the Bears can actually go from worst to first in 1 year? If Ryan Poles does everything well, obviously we have our quarterback. We have a lot of holes to fill. I think we're probably far away from actually being Super Bowl contenders, right? But do you think we can be worst to first in the NFC North? Don Burr, I'm guessing you're saying Paris. Is it Paris Johnson? Think that's his name? From Ohio State. You think that's going to be our round one pick? I think we would probably take the guy from Northwestern first. Peter Skoronski. I think he would go before Ohio State guy. Anthony Van Buren said Justin Fields equals D Rose before the injuries. Yeah, that would be a good comparison too, because D Rose, he was nice. D Rose was nice. A lot of people say we can definitely go from worst to first in NFC North, no doubt. I truly agree. I think it's going to be wide open, especially if Aaron Rodgers leaves. Kirk Cousins doesn't scare me. The only team that really kind of scares me is I think the Lions are legit. I really do. Lions look good. Appreciate you, Michael Spearman, for the donation. He said, just wanted to say thanks for the content and know that this is diehard fans. Trust the process. Yeah, absolutely. We're all diehard fans. That's why I enjoy doing this content, because I understand that eventually the Bears will be good. We have the quarterback. Justin Fields is playing out of his mind right now, and that's with nobody. That's with nobody. He's basically, that's like me going out there and playing receiver right now for him. He's playing out of his mind. No one can sit here and say that Justin Fields is playing bad right now. I guess this is the next question. Did Justin Fields get snubbed at the Pro Bowl? I asked this question in the podcast the other day. Do you guys think that Justin Fields got snubbed? Yeah, Kyle, I definitely agree. The Vikings are a good team. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, when you look at the future, if you look at like the next 5-10 years, who do you think has a better outlook? I think the Bears and the Lions do. Hello? Yeah, I was just calling. Never mind. I'm on a live right now. Okay, sounds good. Okay. Bye. Yeah, it's my master plan, Levante. Trying to, get the Lions to trade back, try to trade up so we can get their first round pick. So we can have 2 first round picks and get the defender we want and maybe like an offensive lineman or receiver we want. It's all part of my master plan. Yeah, and that's the thing, Michael. I will only trade back with Detroit or Seattle because we want 2 first-round picks. And not only would we be top 10, I think we would have two of those first would be in the top 20. So those would be valuable picks. Yeah, Mike Ross, you're probably right. I would be the best receiver. Hey, I played soccer growing up, but I can't. I have hands. I play flag football, and they have me out there in the slide. I'm fast. I'm and I guess in my prime, I guess I still am in my prime. I can run like a high 4.3. So I got some wheels on me. Can't be any worse, right? Yeah, obviously it's a popularity thing when you look at the Pro Bowl. It's definitely a popularity thing. Um, if the Bears, if some things would have swung our way, yeah, he would be a Pro Bowler. I wonder if he will end up being an alternate though. Yeah, this offseason is very, Kyle, I agree with you. It's very critical. Ryan Poles, it's going to be like his first opportunity to show us what he has, because now there's no excuse. This year when he came in, it was about getting rid of the bad contracts, right? And, clearing up cap space. But now you have all the cap space. You have the picks, right? You have a young team, everything's fresh. So now it's like, now you have to show us what you actually have, right? So now we can actually judge Ryan Poles and see how actually good he is. Yeah, Floyd, I agree. He said, I said it once before. Jalen Carter is a beast. Go get him. The Bears have a great track record of drafting good players in the second and later rounds as well. Yes, they do. Absolutely. The Bears are definitely known for finding those gem at linebackers and running backs as well. Michael said, "Hey Keek, can you text us about 30 degrees of the California weather for tomorrow?" Yeah, I feel bad for anyone that lives in Chicago. I really do. I wish you guys the best, especially if you're going to the game tomorrow. Right now, the weather in California, especially in Sacramento, right now it's 52 degrees. So it's cold to us. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and lie. This is cold to us. 52 degrees is cold. I know you guys are like, that's nowhere near cold. Yeah, the Texans have been playing good. They're kind of like the Bears, though. They've been competitive, but they just can't finish games. Levante Rogers says the PFF simulator, which I'm very familiar with that. That's why I usually do my picks. It says the PFF simulator has Detroit trading the 4th, 18th, 48th picks in 2023 and a first and a 7th in 2024 for the number 2 pick. Should I take the trade? Well, I'm not sure if that's realistic, but I would take it in that instance. Yeah, if you're just playing around, yeah. That would be a very massive haul. Vario said if the Texans win their last 2 of 3 and Bears lose out, then we get the number 1 overall pick. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the Chicago Bears got the number 1 overall pick? Like, now we would hold all the cards. And that would be fun. I'm not gonna lie. That would be fun. Obviously I'm gonna do a live stream for the NFL draft. That live stream is going to be lit. I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. I'm gonna be so hyped on draft night. I don't even drink. I'm gonna probably have some shots ready to go. We're gonna get lit. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It's gonna be fun. The number 1 overall pick, at that point, what would you do? I think you definitely trade back. Like, who are you gonna pick at number 1 overall? You gonna just go up there and take Will Anderson? No, you're gonna play your cards and see what you can get for the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not far out. Yeah, Don Burr said that simulator on drugs. Sometimes when I'm on there too, I'm like, there's no way the Lions are gonna give us all this. There's no way that the Seahawks are gonna give us all this. But I've seen crazy things, especially when a team really wants a player. Sometimes you can't trust those simulators. That's why, these mock drafts, Bears fans, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be hard to do mock drafts this year. I really don't know what the Bears are doing. And that's why they're called mock drafts. A lot of people get mad at me, right? They're like, Keek, this is the worst mock draft you ever did. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I don't know. You never know what the Bears are going to do. You don't know what any team's going to do. Like someone said, the Texans can go up there and ruin everyone's plan and take Will Anderson. Yeah, Floyd, I think it was like 1940s. Yeah. It would be absolutely crazy. I think Bears fans would like damn near throw a parade if we got the number 1 overall pick. Like, I'm not even lying to you guys. We would throw a parade because we would have all endless options. Number 1 overall pick, man. And the thing is, the Bears are competitive. It's not like they're not a good football team, but they don't suck. I really don't think they suck. I think the Bears will compete in these last 3 games, but I think they will be losses. I will never sit here and tell you on the podcast that the Bears are going to lose, but straight up. But I think everyone wants the Bears to lose at this point. We're not playing for anything. We're playing for those picks, people. We need a good pick. If you're just now joining the live stream, thank you so much. We're here for another Friday Q&A here on Keek on the Mic. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. We're going to do this every Friday night, guys. And obviously, it's going to ramp up when the offseason hits. We're going to do a lot of live stream, a lot of content's coming your way. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you share this podcast to every single NFL fan, Bears fan, Bills fan, Lions fan that you know, because there's going to be a lot of NFL content coming your way. So yes, that means you, Don Burr. Tell your Lions fans to come tune in. Especially when I do the live play-by-play of the Lions versus Bears. Obviously, me and Don Burr have a bet. We made a bet earlier in the year saying if the Lions sweep the Bears in the season series, I have to come on the podcast and say that the Lions own the Bears, which I'm a man of my word, and I'll do it on the live stream as I do the live play-by-play. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be ugly, Ma. I think Stephon Diggs is going to have 200 yards, especially with Jalen Johnson. But those young guys have been playing good. Blackwell, Jalen Jones, obviously Kyler Gordon's playing pretty well. Doesn't mean they're going to stop them, but, give those guys some credit as well. They're just young. Yeah, Mike, I agree. And that's why I usually just, I really do damn near scout players. I watch college football and I watch the tape and then I make the assessment of who I think really the Bears should take. Don Burr, I didn't, I know we have that bet and all, but we never really finalized of what happens if the Bears do win the next matchup against the Lions. It's just like null and void. It doesn't matter. It's just like we're even. Because I know if the Lions beat the Bears, you guys sweep the season series, and I have to come on the podcast and say that the Lions, own the Bears and all that stuff. But what happens if the Bears win? STC, I really appreciate you. They said you and Isaiah are a great team on the show. Yes, absolutely. I'm really appreciative of Isaiah Fry. He has a lot of good insight. Make sure you guys check out those podcasts. Like I said, he's going to be on a lot of off-season podcasts as well. But really happy to have that collaboration with Isaiah Fry. Yeah, you're right, Dumber. We never discussed if you lose, but I think if the Bears do win, which is a possibility that we can beat you guys the next matchup, it's just null and void. Like, no one's got to do anything. Yeah, Isaiah Fry has been a good, like I said, a good collab partner, good co-host for the show. He's been really active helping me get other players to come on the show, so I really appreciate him. He's the one that helped me get Devontae Bond on the show. Devontae Bond actually played for the Chicago Bears for a little bit in 2019 or 2020, I believe. He currently plays for the Dallas Cowboys, so I'm going to get him on and interview him. So that's going to be a good interview. Excited for that. But like I said, really appreciative of what Isaiah Fry has done for the podcast. So for the people, I have the NFL draft order up right now. Right now, Houston is 1-12-1. The Bears are 3-11, and the Denver Broncos are 4-10, and the Rams are 4-10. So if the Bears lose out, they'll be 3-14. If for some reason the Texans win out, then the Bears, yeah, very well could hold the number one overall pick, especially since the Texans have that tie. That's a big thing right there that they're 1-12-1. So I don't even know who the Texans play the last 3 weeks. Let's look this up. I know that the Broncos, they play the Rams, Chiefs, and Chargers. So I think they can go probably 1-2 in the last 3 weeks. But let's look at the Houston Texans right now, because I really don't know who the Texans play. So the Texans the last 3 weeks play the Tennessee Titans. Okay. They play a Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are looking decent, but it's winnable. And they play the Colts. That's also a winnable game. Oh, so there may be some hope for the number one overall pick, Bears fans. There may be some hope. Don Burr with the bold take said, I actually think you guys could possibly beat the Bills tomorrow, which, like I said, at this point, I don't expect any more wins from the Bears, but they're going to be competitive. I think it's all going to come down to, in crunch time, can we finish the game? There's probably going to be a time tomorrow where the Bears are actually leading. And it's probably going to be early in the game. Like, it seems like the Bears come out and we go up by like 10 or something like that, and then we give up the lead, and then we end up losing in the fourth quarter. But there is going to be times where the Bears are going to be leading in tomorrow's game. But thank you for the vote of confidence, Don Burr. I really appreciate that. But I think at this point, Bears fans want to lose. Yeah, Kyle, I'm with you. I just hope that Justin Fields doesn't get hurt. Um, that field is definitely going to be hard. So obviously, Justin Fields is probably going to be a runner tomorrow. That's what he does. He's trying to get that NFL single season rushing record. He's at 1,000 yards. I think he needs 206 more yards to tie it, and then more than 206 yards to beat Lamar Jackson's single season rushing record, which I think it's possible. I think he only needs to average like 60-something yards a game. He's averaged like 70 plus in 7 games this year. So there's a very good possibility that Justin Fields becomes the single season rushing record holder. Yeah, Don Bro, I feel like every Bears fan wants that number 2 overall pick. And now that I see the scheduling too, the Bears may have a chance at the number 1 overall pick, which that would be insane. Like I'm still mind blown that's even a possibility. It makes you kind of mad that we actually beat the Texans earlier in the year, because we actually played the Texans. So we do hold the tiebreaker if we tie. Yeah, I feel like everyone that's going to be watching the game, that's all we're watching for at this moment is Justin Fields. What is Justin Fields going to do? Especially against like good opponents. And I said it on the podcast the other day that the most exciting part about Justin Fields right now is the credit that he's getting from some big time players. Obviously Von Miller came out and said, Justin Fields has all the qualities to be great. Darius Slay came out and said, Justin Fields is a human highlight reel. Everything that I've heard about Justin Fields is true. He is that guy. So it's good that Justin Fields is getting credit from his peers. Justin Fields may very well be in the top 100 players when they do that big series at the end of the year. Yeah, Levante, that number 1 pick sounds nice. Has a nice ring to it. Because usually when you have the number one overall pick, you don't have a quarterback. The Chicago Bears have a freaking quarterback. Yeah, Black Rain 7920. With all the injuries, they should keep the second pick. Yeah, I truly think the Bears will secure the number two overall pick. And I think, if we lose tomorrow and then obviously the Broncos handle business against the Rams, then we would have a 2-game advantage. So that would be really good for the Bears. You're just now joining the live stream. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right on the podcast. I just want to remind you guys once again that I will be going live for the Bears versus Bills, doing a live play-by-play reaction. So you get my raw reaction and emotions during a Bears game, which will be pretty fun. And I promise my appendix won't get in the way this time. My appendix is out now, so I'm good to go, feeling a lot better. So I'll be back, ready to go. Sorry, Don Burr, I can't support that. He said, "Well, I want the Rams to lose out. We own that pick, and it's number 4 right now." I don't, sorry, Don Burr. It's about the Bears right now. Okay, you guys are doing good. You guys have a chance to go to the playoffs. Let the Bears have this one. The Bears are freaking 3-11. We need the number 2 overall pick. We need one of the top players in the draft to come help us. And I understand it's not gonna one player is not gonna do it for us. It's gonna be a full offseason full of moves to even begin to get us in the right direction. But we need the number 1 or number 2 overall pick desperately. Yeah, now in essence, I think it was a great trade for both teams. Obviously, the Rams got their Super Bowl, right? The Rams, people forget that the Rams did win the Super Bowl last year with Matthew Stafford. So I think it worked out for both teams. So now it's up to the Lions to, obviously execute on those first round picks, which have. They've been really good. If you have any questions for me, Bears fans, keep them coming. We're having a good time here on a Friday night live stream. I hope you guys are ready for the holiday season. We have a full slate of football tomorrow on Saturday, and there's a couple of games on Sunday. So it's going to be fun to watch Christmas Eve and Christmas Day football. It's going to be a fun last couple of weeks, but I'll be honest with you guys. I'm just really looking forward to the season being over at this point, because then, we're basically waiting to see where the Bears are going to be picking. What I guarantee you, and I'm not the only Bears podcaster or content creator that will tell you this, once we know where the Bears are picking, like officially, content's going to be all over the place. Mock drafts, mock off seasons. We just need to know if we're going to be number 2 or number 3 at this point, or maybe number 1. But this waiting game is absolutely killing me. I think we know at this point that the Bears probably will lose out, but you never know. You just never know. Any given Sunday. Yeah, Don Bird, that's a good assessment. He said, I think the Colts will have a fire sale. And by your coach being an ex-coach for the Colts, I think a lot of Colts will be Bears. That's a fair assessment. I can definitely see that happening for the Bears. I know DeForest Buckner has come up in trade talks. Now, obviously, I mentioned Michael Pittman. Maybe if we possibly trade down with the Colts, bring him as a number 1 receiver. That's a fair assessment to think. The Colts have been bad or up and down. Floyd asks, other than Gordon, who's going to be the other starting corner since Jalen and Kendall are out? So right now, we are working with Kyler Gordon as the cornerback number one, technically, right now. And we have Joshua Blackwell, which he's been a huge contributor on special teams. And then we also have Jalen Jones. And, all those guys, all those young guys have gotten a lot of reps. So it's going to be a young secondary tomorrow. So we're going to see what happens. And obviously, Jack Sanborn's out now, so we're now even more thin at linebacker. Our defensive line has been putrid. That's why I'm thinking Jalen Carter is the right option to go. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow against a very good Bills team. We're going to see what this defense is looking like. Yeah, SDC tomorrow will be running the football with Justin Fields, with David Montgomery, and that's right, Khalil Herbert is coming back. Super excited about that. He was having a good season before he hurt his hip. Kyle Waller said, the Viking game scares me. I hope they don't rest starters and we get a pointless win. That is a good point. I can see the Bears being in line for the number one overall pick. And it's like, all we have to do is lose that game. We have the number one overall pick. And I can see the Vikings resting their starters. And we, like you said, get a pointless win. But at this point, no win is pointless. Obviously, it would be a good feeling for this team, this group of young guys that have struggled to win close games, actually win. But I can get why you say it's pointless because they're not playing their starters. Yeah, this is going to be a good test for Kyler Gordon. Let's see what he can do. I feel like he's been up and down, but I feel like he is getting there. He's in a good direction. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He had a rough start, but I feel like sometimes it takes players a long time to adjust. He's not any worse than what Velus Jones has been. Velus Jones has been bad. Keep the question coming, Bears fans. And I will answer them for you right here live. Like I said, thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. I really appreciate you guys all. I know I had like a last minute adjustment. I was supposed to start the podcast at 5. Decided to come on at 4. But we make it work. And I really appreciate every single one of you guys being here. Like I said, if you're just now joining the live stream, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Like I said, make sure you share the podcast to every single Bears or NFL fan that you know as well. A lot of stuff in store on the podcast. A lot of stuff in store. It's going to be a new year, new exciting year. A lot of plans for the podcast as well. Kyle Waldo asked, do they just move on from Lucas Patrick at this point? Seems like a bad signing. I think they signed him to a 2-year deal. I would give him another opportunity, but he has to earn his starting spot back. I just wouldn't bring him back and put him in the starting lineup. He's got to earn it. But yeah, it looks like a bad signing so far for the Bears. Because like I said, the Bears can't go into next season with the group of centers that they have, right? They need to upgrade at the center position. Center is, to me, just as important as left tackle. Especially since that's where a lot of the pressure comes from most of the time, is from that interior. Nothing against Sam Mustipher. The guy probably works hard in the locker room, but he just hasn't been good. And then we brought in Lucas Patrick to play center, and he plays 2 drives as center. He looked terrible at guard. So, yeah, Ryan Poles has his work cut out for him in terms of upgrading his offensive line. And like I said, we took a hit today with Elton Jenkins being extended. So, you got to be creative. You got to fix that position in the draft or free agency, but it needs to be fixed. We need to, because like Justin Fields said, they asked him too, like, do you expect to run like this every season? He says, no, I don't want to be a run first quarterback. I want to throw the football, right? But Justin Fields needs an offensive line in order to throw the football. How you doing, Ron? Bear down to you as well. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. The center calls the pass protection, and we need a good young one that can be with Justin Fields for years to come. That's center is really important, guys. It really is, and we cannot stick with Sam Mustipher. I think I would pull my hair out if they said, you know what, Sam Mustipher is our starting center for years to come. That just wouldn't make any sense. If you're just now joining the live stream, thank you so much. Just having super fun Q&A. Obviously, the title of this live stream is Can the Bears secure the number 2 overall pick? I'm just having a good time here on the live stream. If you're just now joining, make sure you hit that subscribe button, share the channel to every Bears and NFL fan that you know. Super excited to have you guys all here today. Keep the questions coming, Bears fans. Or Lion fan, since there's only one. Levante said, Happy holidays to you and your family, Keek. Same to you as well. I hope everyone enjoys the holiday season. I know it's the best time of year, especially for me. You know, I have my daughter that just turned 4 months old. Not really into it yet because she's still too young, but it's still awesome to celebrate with the new one. Yeah, Ron, you're absolutely right. This is going to be a crucial offseason for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. It's a big one. You know, this is going to be a time that we can actually judge Ryan Poles too, finally. See actually how good he does when he actually has the resources to, actually help the Chicago Bears get better. Yeah, Floyd, I agree. Sam Musfer makes me miss the glory days of Olin Kreutz and Jay Hilgenberg. Yes, I agree. We need like a nasty center, guys. Someone that's gonna put someone's face in the dirt. You know, Sam Musfer just seems like just too nice, like Winnie the Pooh or something. I don't know. Kyle Wallow asks over under of picks by polls at the end of the draft 10 less or more. Right now we're slated with like 8 picks right now, and that's not including any comp picks that we may get. If we trade down, yeah, I think we're gonna end up picking 10 more, 10 or more. I think it's a fair assessment. Yeah, Sam Musfer's too nice. Too nice. Yeah, I can't. We can't have a nice center. We need to have like a prick at center, and that's why they brought in Lucas Patrick because Ryan Poles is like, you know what, this guy is a prick, and he knows it. But it's like, dude only played 2 drives. 2 drives as center. Like I said, he was terrible at guard. There'll be times where Sam Musfer does look like decent, but he's not a starting center in the NFL, guys. Just me being honest. He's just not. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if the Bears are like ultra aggressive in trying to find a new center. For sure. Like obviously I think, when you look at the offensive line, left tackle looks good, right guard looks good. We need left guard and right tackle and center, I would say. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with Alex Leatherwood. I think Cody Whitehair may be a cut candidate. You could save $10 million by cutting him. It's gonna be a new look offensive line for sure. STC said, "What do you think about drafting a running quarterback for a backup and use him like the Saints did with, I believe, Taysom Hill?" I don't know if I would waste a draft pick on a situation like that. Maybe if like there's like an undrafted guy that you like that we can bring in to compete as a backup. But something tells me they're gonna just roll with Trevor Siemian as well. Yeah, Kyle Waddle. Whitehair played a little bit of center. He was decent as well. Um, I don't know. I have nothing against Cody Whitehair, but it may be time for a change. That's an option. Malik Cunningham could be an option in round 7 if you're just looking at best player available. But I'm not sure if the Bears will draft a quarterback in the draft. You always get a quarterback in undrafted free agency, or maybe a quarterback in free agency as well. Bring him as a backup because backups are important too. I agree, but I'm just not sure if they're gonna obviously not gonna value that in the draft. But if the one comes around and he's the best player available, maybe yeah, they go get Justin Fields as backup. That actually fits the offense. I totally understand where you guys are coming from. Keep the question coming, Bears fans. I appreciate you guys asking all the questions. Like I said, I'm going to try to stay on as long as possible, as long as the questions are coming. Um, let's just have a good time tonight. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, Trevor Simeon has a different skill set. So I could definitely see the Bears maybe trying to prioritize that a little bit, trying to bring in a guy that knows how to run the offense, just in case Justin Fields goes down. And if Justin Fields does go down, you wouldn't have to change the offense as much. Yeah, Levante, I agree. I don't think he's gonna waste a draft pick on a quarterback because the Bears have a lot of holes to fill. They have to fill the trenches on both offense and defensive line. We need a receiver. We need linebackers, right? Maybe another cornerback. Levante Rogers said left tackle Orlando Brown Jr., left guard Ben Powers or Isaac Sumalo, center Ethan Posick, right guard Tevin Jenkins, and then right tackle Caleb McGarry or Andre Dillard. You know, I liked Orlando Brown Jr. I really do. I'm just not sure. I think they're going to give Braxton Jones another opportunity to start. I think he has earned that right. But I think if I wouldn't be mad at signing Orlando Brown Jr. either. Maybe you can move Braxton Jones to right tackle. Yeah, that's also something that they can consider in the draft. Like maybe adding because we do need one more linebacker. Obviously, it's unfortunate what happened to Roquan Smith, but now we need to find a way to replace him. So we need another stud to place with Jack Sanborn, and it's awesome. What happened, like what's transpiring with Jack Sanborn, right? Yeah, he's undrafted and he's been playing really, really well. It's unfortunate that his season ended, but now we know that we have him, so it's nice. Yes, Kyle, and linebacker is very deep in this year's draft. So I'm excited to see what the Bears do. And that's the benefit of trading down too, guys, getting more picks, adding more players to your team. I feel like this draft is deep in a lot of positions too, which is nice. Which is really, really nice. But I feel like the Bears, thinking about what Ryan Poles wants to do, I think he wants to build the trenches obviously first, defensive line and offensive line, because that's where it starts. That's how you build a team. That's how you should build a team, right? Unless there was like a player that on a different position group, like if there was a linebacker or a receiver that you just couldn't ignore, then you take that player, right? But most of the time, especially when you already have a quarterback as good as Justin Fields, you need to be able to protect him. And then on the defensive side, you need, like I said, that three technique guy that can get it done. Devontae Ryan says, if we get that first pick, I bet Houston gives us both first this year and next. Yeah, I think they would. I think they would be desperate at that point. I think they would trade the house to get that number one overall pick to ensure that they get their guy. Yeah, obviously, Kyle, it wouldn't surprise me that Ryan Poles trades back multiple times. He wants to build through the NFL draft. He made that clear when he took the job in Chicago. So I don't want fans to be too upset if he doesn't go like crazy in free agency. He's not just going to spend money just because he has it, right? He wants to make sure he's making the right moves, which we should appreciate that because he's trying to create a contender for years to come. He doesn't want to be good for 1 year, right? He wants to be good for years. Yeah, Sewell is looking good from out of Oregon. I would like that pick as well. That's a guy that I kind of been watching slowly because linebacker is like I wouldn't call it the biggest need, but it is a need. Like after offensive line and defensive line, I think I would put linebacker. Maybe you linebacker receiver are kind of the same level for me personally. The Bears are definitely gonna have their options though. That's another option. Yep, Jack Campbell from Iowa. The Bears are gonna have options, guys, like legit options. And I forgot what other. I there's this kid from Georgia. He's a linebacker slash edge rusher, and I believe he's dropping because he's injured or he's been injured. But they said if he wasn't injured, he would be a first round pick. So he's gonna kind of drop. I forgot his name on the top of my head. But if he's there, I would be intrigued by maybe picking him in the second round as well. Same thing goes for Najigba, receiver out of Ohio State. If I know he's been injured all year, maybe he drops to the second. You take a waiver on him. Levante, I'm just not sure if Ryan Poles is gonna spend all his money in one sitting. I think in his mind, this may be like like a couple of year project, not trying to fix this team in one sitting. Yes, thank you, Levante. Nolan Smith. That's a guy that I would be intrigued in looking at, especially if he drops. Yeah, I agree. It's time to see what we actually have in Ryan Poles. When he first came in, like I mentioned earlier in the live stream, it's like, all right, he has excuses. He needs to break down this team first before he can start, building it up again, right? But now there's no excuse. $125 million in cap space. That number is probably going to grow after cuts, right? You have all the picks in the world. You're probably going to have like 10 plus picks with multiple picks in the top 50. Ryan Poles has the legit opportunity to finally build the roster how he wants it. So it's gonna, now we can officially judge him. Kyle said Najigba reminds me of a bad Kevin White. Thoughts? I'm not sure. When you look at Kevin White, obviously Kevin White was bigger, right? He was like just a jump ball guy. When you look at Najigba, I feel like he's probably a better route runner than Kevin White was out of college. So that's probably like the one thing that kind of separates them. Besides, but we'll see. We'll see. I just feel like if Najigba's there in the second round, you kind of have to consider it, especially the need that we have at receiver. And so I think I would take that risk. It's gonna be a fun offseason, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm really excited for this offseason. And for me as a Bears podcaster, that just means a lot of content to post for you guys. So there's probably gonna be a lot of going live, because it's just gonna be so hard to keep up with everything. I would give Alan Williams another season. Obviously the defensive line has been, like I said, putrid. You need to give him more talent on the defense before you can just get rid of a coach, right? So, um, give him some more talent on that defense, and then let's see what he can do with it, right? Because like I said, they're missing a true three technique guy. Justin Jones has been just inconsistent. He's had flashes for sure, but they need like a true dominant three technique defensive lineman. Yes, I have heard the rumors about Carter having issues off the field, and that's the risk you take with some players, right? I think that's one of the reasons why the Bears didn't pursue George Pickens because he had off field issues as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how Ryan Poles handles that. That's why you have those pre-draft interviews to really try to learn the character of these guys, and sometimes you can learn the character of these guys just by watching the film as well and watching their body language. So I have a lot of faith in Ryan Poles and the scouting staff to make the right choice. Yeah, Kevin White did get hurt. I was excited for that pick too. When we drafted Kevin White, I was like, man, he's like the perfect specimen of a receiver. Fast, big, strong. Just had trouble learning the route tree. He just ran straight in college, really, and just one jump balls. All right, Bears fans, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, but I promise I'll be right back. Make sure you keep the questions coming, and we will continue this live stream once I return from my break. All right, I am back. Thank you guys so much for being patient. I really, guys, really appreciate you guys still staying tuned on the live stream. I probably will end about 5-10 minutes. So if you have any last minute questions for me, like I said, I just want to remind you guys I will be going live tomorrow for the Bears versus Bills, doing live play by play reaction. So you guys will get the true reactions from me during the game. Super excited to do that. I'll probably start that live stream about 9:40 before the game starts at 10 my time. I did want to remind you guys that I do have a Justin Fields jersey that I am bidding off. If anyone's interested in bidding for it or just outright buying it, obviously you can reach out to me on Instagram and let me know if you're interested in a signed Justin Fields jersey. Obviously, that's gonna be a jersey that's probably gonna end up being more valuable as the years go on. So like I said, if anyone's interested in that jersey, just let me know. If anyone doesn't have any last minute questions for me, I'll probably go ahead and wrap up this live stream. Once again, I really appreciate you guys for your guys' support, um, reaching out to me, especially when I had my emergency surgery. I really appreciate you guys staying patient with me. I know with the podcast that's been kind of up and down, right? I'm trying to be more. I'm trying to be more consistent with my post. Um, but like I said, I definitely appreciate all the support that you guys have shown me. Ever since I started the podcast. So this is why I do it, is because of you guys. You guys give me a lot of motivation to continue because I really do enjoy interacting with you guys. So once again, I can't say enough. Uh, thank you for your support of Keek on the Mic. I hope you guys will join me tomorrow for my play-by-play live reaction of the Bears versus Bills game. But if not, that's okay as well. If you guys don't join me tomorrow, I wish you the merriest Christmas with your family, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun and stay safe. But once again, thank you guys so much for joining me for tonight. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow for my play by play as the Bears take on the Bills. Thanks, guys. Catch you guys tomorrow.